We'll go ahead and get started, and I'll call our meeting to order. And if everybody at this time would join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. At this time, if everybody would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. Board members, it's time to approve our agenda. We do have a couple of items to add tonight. And I'm going to make a motion to add item F under our board action items. And that is to consider the revised BG1 for the high school cafeteria expansion.
Make a motion.
Second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of adding item F under the board action items, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I hear none. And the second item we need to add to the agenda is to be item E under the board consent agenda items. And this is to consider facilities use agreement. So I make a motion to add this item.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wells. All in favor of adding item E to the consent agenda under consider facilities use agreement, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? I hear none. So now we need a motion to approve the amended agenda items if there are no other items to be added.
Make a motion.
A motion by Mr. Johar,
Second.
second by Ms. Pard. All in favor of approving the amended agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Okay, we'll move on down now to recognitions. Mr. Davis.
I believe Carla is with us tonight.
Okay.
I am. Thank you. Good evening, board members and guests. This evening's recognition is all about you. January is School Board Recognition Month. So on behalf of the Muhlenberg County School District, we want to thank you for your service. As with nearly every job throughout the nation, the past couple of years have continued to be challenging. That's the most positive word I can use at this time. Our school district is fortunate to have each of you helping guide us through these complex days of educating the future of our community. Thank you for your dedication and the countless hours of reading materials and digging into reports, along with the day-to-day decisions that arise within our district. And I think there have been a few. We thought it would be appropriate to create a survival kit to help you continue to be an effective board member. You each will receive at some point a bag of goodies that have a variety of items we hope will bring a smile to your face and lighten the heavy load you carry as a school board member during a pandemic and during the ongoing challenges of overcoming a natural disaster. So I'd like you to allow me to walk you through these items real quick. So the first item, you all are going to receive one of these little bags. And inside that item, the first one is a Muhlenberg County school pen with a stylus. And you're going to use that to sign the necessary documents while scrolling through social media to see what other districts are doing. The next item is a pair of sunglasses.
Ooh, I like that.
That's right, styling. Going to protect your eyes from our shining students and a great way to look cool, Rajiv.
Awesome.
The next item is a sweatband. We want to remind you not to let anyone see you sweat the small stuff. The next one is a mobile pouch you can put on the back of your phones. That's to keep your ID and your credit card handy for times you need to get away and enjoy a break. The next item is a glue stick. That's to remind yourself that your work is needed to keep our district working together. The next one is a really sweet little treat of candy. That's to remind you to stay sweet when the world tries to make education sour. The next item is a puzzle magnet piece, and that's to remind you that the work you do as a board member is important and unique to the entire district. And one other item is a large spot. And I hope that will remind you that your spot matters and is significant to the success of our district. And like any goodie bag, there's a surprise item to remind you to have fun each day. Now, when you reach a point that you simply are overwhelmed, I would suggest that you feel free to grab the bag. Don't put it over your head, but just breathe in deeply a few times, maybe 1,000 times. I've caught Mr. Davis doing this. It'll help the stress. We want to just say thank you so much, board members, for the support that you offer to each of us as staff members, as students, to make our district the great district that it is. So thank you very much. And that ends my recognition. And I do want to forewarn you that next month, by missing last month, I've got a lot of students that have done amazing things that I really want you to be aware of. So prepare yourselves to be wowed and awed next month.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You scared me with the sweatband. I thought it was going to have something to do with exercise.
No.
Lord. Okay. Thank you, Carla. Appreciate that. And you all make it easy for us to be board members. I'll say that. All right. We'll move down now to Mr. Blitzinger with our treasurer's report.
All right, thank you, Chairman Rager. Can you all see it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna be, this is the financials as of December 31st, 2021. Start with revenues. Beginning balance was at 24.76 million, which was up 619,000 from the previous month. Monthly receipts were at 7.8 million. Those were up 4.6 million from last month, which is mainly in taxes, and down 1.1 million from the same period last year. Notables were state was down 398,000, taxes up 4.9 million. Other was up 193,000, and daycare was down 108,000 for total cash receipts of 32.6 million. Expenditures. Okay. Total accounts payable was 1.36 million. That's up approximately 583,000 when compared to the same period last year. Our payroll was 2.8 million, which was up 217,000 versus December 2020. Again, this will be reflective every month, but the use of federal funds cost more in healthcare benefits. The significant bills in December were preferred construction was $216,810. Mielenberg County Sheriff was $133,000, which was the collection fees for the taxes. Boyd Company $121,815. Construction. Summit Engineering was $111,421, which is also part of construction. Of the accounts payable, fixed and mixed expenses were $809,972. Variable expense was about $462,000, and utilities expense was about $92,000. Breakdown of the accounts payable of 1.36 million. General fund was 176,000. Fund 2 and school activity funds about 159,000. Construction 111,649. Food service and daycare is 117,696. And so the part or ledger balance. Ledger balance was 28.4 million. Bank balance was 21.3 with outstanding checks of 863,000 for a cash balance of 20.4 million. Breakdown, general fund was at 17. Excuse me. Sorry. General fund was at 17.8 million, which is an increase of about 2.2 million. Fund 2 is at 3.27 million negative, which is in arrears. Construction is about 4.3 million. Debt service 918,000 negative, which is all continue to grow in that fashion until we true it up at the end of the year. Food service about 2 million. Daycare 385,000. Trust and agency 40,000, which in district activity fund was 16.4, and investments at 7.98 million. Extended financial picture, May of 2022, we expect to have about 31.3 million.
Hey, Eric,
Yes.
on that extended financial picture, could you
Yes.
go back? Were the SEEK changes, is that just where the formula changes in going from December to January to that lower number for every month?
That is what the predicted amount was when they adjust the numbers down. So I'm trying to project it a little bit more conservative than what it's coming in at.
Gotcha.
And you should know, Eric, you talked to the TVA folks today, thought we would have that check by now, but we
Yeah.
do not.
And she said that we would have that, well, last year it was issued on January 21st, she said. So they did tell us that the revenues that came in this year were 16% lower. So our check is actually going to be lower this time, which confused Robbie and I because they told us their sales were up. What that will translate into is a higher check next year, is what we were told, or what I was told today. So just so you guys are aware that when the TVA check does come in, that it will probably be a little bit lower than it was last year.
So in 21, the usage was more.
Correct, but that is applied to the
Yep.
next year's check.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is there any other questions for Eric? If not, I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I make a motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Wells,
Second.
second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of approving the treasurer's report, please say aye.
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 All opposed? I hear none. Okay, we'll move down now to payment of bills and salaries. Eric.
Thank you. And just to kind of go back to the SEEK, one thing I just kind of thought of, I'll follow up with the state because we are using 18-19 numbers. So I want to make sure that adjustment doesn't occur with that. So if that's the case, I'll adjust all those numbers on the future projections, just so you're aware.
Thank you.
So January board bills, we bring $429,646.87. Of that, about 84,000 utilities. Fixed and mixed expenses are 281,000, and variable expense about 64,000. The notable checks in the board bills, $209,597 to Old Wealth Management. Train is about $40,000, and Tyler Technology is the $22,347, which was the employee self-serve that we approved.
Questions? I need a motion to approve payment of bills and salaries.
I make a motion.
I have a motion by Ms. Wells. Second. And second by Ms. Bard. All in favor of approving bills and salaries, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. We'll move down now to public participation. Did we have any?
There is none, Chairman.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move down now to our administrative report and the superintendent report. And just to note that our personnel actions have been given to us and the report will be placed in our meeting minutes. All right, Mr. Davis.
Okay, thank you, Chairman Rager. Board members, I've got a few things to try to wade through. I'll try to say them as quickly but as clearly as I can. Do want to start with the Board Appreciation Month. I'm not going to add much to what Carla said. She said it very well, but I do appreciate you guys. The district, I know, does. You're very active. You're very involved. We have a lot of conversations behind the scenes. You certainly aren't a hands-off, not knowing what's going on kind of group, but you're very supportive. And so we don't always agree on everything exactly, but we support each other. We have good conversations, and the district needs to know that. But I do appreciate working with you going through these last couple of years. I feel pretty fortunate that I've been able to go through those with you guys. So I'll add to that a rare moment of sincerity with you there, but I do mean that. NTI days, let's talk about them just a little bit. After tomorrow, there'll be 5 days. And let's review a little bit what we have there. We have 10 days still that we can close down the entire district, be it snow or COVID, which really comes down to staffing. And we have had some legislation that will help us. We have 10 other days where I can close just a grade level, just a school. And that may very well come into play. It came pretty close yesterday. But that still doesn't help me with the entire district. So I am concerned that the 10 days will not be enough. Here we are at 21st, I think, tomorrow, and already have used 5 days. We could easily have enough snow to get us, and we could easily have staffing issues enough that would get us. So I'm concerned about that. We voiced that concern, but as of now, that's what we're sitting with. We did come yesterday, and all the decisions are somewhat difficult anymore, but it was tough. It was tough yesterday, but we did get through it, and I didn't want to go, none of us wanted to go a week and a half without seeing our kids, especially knowing there's some really bad weather, really cold weather coming up, so we were able to see them and maybe see if there's any issues we could help with, use the backpacks to send some food home to some folks some kids that definitely needed it. So I was glad we were able to meet, although we were pretty short-staffed yesterday and a whole lot of kids out. So, I'm hoping this 4-day break. The fact is, weather got us. It was kind of interesting. I got up today and very little, if anything, where I was. And then I saw some pictures from the south end of the county where there were roads covered. So it kind of split Muhlenberg. But fact is, we would have probably been down regardless. With staffing. We just needed a break. We have been able to get through to that point. And our goal will continue to be in person as many times as we can. And we understand that grateful to have the NTI days. We have, we're better able to serve our kids than we used to be virtually, but it's never the same as in person. So we know that. We will continue to try to be in person as much as we can and try to play the hand we're dealt as well as we can. So that's kind of where we are with NTI. I would like to have more days to potentially shut down. I need to make it clear that that's not because we want to shut down. We never want to be down. We always want to be in person. COVID information here we have now, and this has probably changed in the last few hours. We have 39 staff members positive and 30 other staff members quarantined. We have 203 students positive and 436 students quarantined. Those numbers have grown quite a bit lately, and they continue to. And what's tricky about getting accurate numbers is now, as you know, our quarantine rules have changed some. So after 5 days, you can come back without symptoms, but if you have symptoms, you still have symptoms, then you can't. And so we're seeing several can and a few can't. So tracking that's a job. So, I'm not giving you numbers every day, but that's what we had this afternoon. And again, I'm confident some of those folks would be able to come back tomorrow. and then there may be more added. And so that's kind of what we're facing. Yesterday was a really tough day, especially in a couple of schools with several testing positive. I'm not saying most are super sick. This does seem to be, as a rule, less severe, although certainly there are cases where that's not the case, but it's definitely more prevalent. So the numbers are up, and regardless of how severe they are, that certainly matters, but they're still unavailable to us, kids and staff. So that's kind of what we're facing there with the numbers. And again, those are pretty close. I'm sure that's not exactly right at this time, but the new guidance that's come out, I do want to thank our parents and just ask for patience, because a couple of weeks ago, we got some new guidance that came out, and it was where you could come back after 5 days, but there were other layers to that as well. And there was we were getting some conflicting guidance from CDC, from KDPH, Kentucky Department of Public Health, and then our health department kind of weighing in, and we worked with them to try to decipher, all right, where are we exactly? And there's still some gray areas. So we made some decisions based on the best information we had. And so that's changed. And I'm glad that we can get some folks back after 5 days, but it's confusing to parents and it's confusing to us. And we're sitting down there dealing with it all the time. So we're trying to work through that, and we apologize to the parents for it when it is hard to understand. And they care. The vast majority of the calls we get aren't angry. They just want to know what to do. And so we're working through that. Certainly thank our folks here that have tried to make that better. We're going to meet tomorrow, a large group, and try to make sure we're on the same page, answer questions, try to be as consistent as we can, and cover all the scenarios that we can. But so the new guidance is helpful, but again, any change it gets confusing. So we've worked through that in the last week or so, and hopefully we're getting to a better spot there. I will say that our staff is stretched very thin, and they're very stressed. Now, I'm not trying to compete with any other occupation. If somebody says, well, what about us? Certainly I can't imagine Chairman Rager's position with nurses and all that. This is not a competition, but this is the group that I'm reporting on. And we've got folks pulled from this spot, doing this spot, and extra duty and double duty, and we're doing it because we want our kids in. But it is, I mean, we're at a time now where we're stretched. We're just stretched thin. I don't know what Monday will be like. The goal is absolutely to be back in session Monday, but we'll look at our numbers Saturday and Sunday and see where we are. We've been pretty fortunate with transportation. That's the one place that could get us pretty quickly, and that would affect all schools. So if it's a transportation problem, I can't just close Bremen per se, because you still got to run those routes for North Middle and for the high school too. So you still need those drivers. Other districts have been in worse shape. They've had to do at times the old second bus run, where kids wait around and you go back and get them, and that's not ideal for anybody either. We know at any time we're not in school, not only is it not best for us with our kids, it's hard on parents, it's hard on childcare, and they have jobs too. So we get all that. All that absolutely matters. We're simply doing the best we can with what we have, and that literally changes hourly anymore. We finally reached kind of a critical mass, but I'm hoping the 4-day break will put us back in a better spot Monday, and you know, hopefully we'll be a little better moving on. I am hopeful that in the next few weeks we're going to see a great downturn here and get to a better spot. And the goal remains to get our kids in as much as we can, and to provide every opportunity that we can, whenever we can. We were able to send a group DECA students to Murray yesterday. We've been able to have some swim meets and some academic meets, and some basketball games. There's been band got to do a little trip here. I think last Friday. I'm kind of losing track, but I know that each one of those is a huge deal for those kids. It matters. It's a big deal. So our goal, if we have the staffing to have a game, we will have a game. If we have the staffing to provide something for our band kids or academic kids or DECA, we want to try to do that. And sometimes we can't. There's going to be games canceled because of COVID, and it is what it is. But I know how big a deal it is for each child that's their thing. And the mental aspect of it is a big deal. So we're just going to keep doing the best we can for our kids and our staff. But again, I'm still in the mindset, provide what we can when we can, and sometimes that changes daily. I do want to make note of a couple of legislative bills is for you guys to track. SB 25 is an interesting one. It's all about tornado relief. It's for districts who were impacted by the tornado. I met today with a other group of superintendents and the commissioner and some KDE folks about how this may affect us. And there's some money available. I won't go into specifics now. We're still trying to kind of hash it out. But for three big things are wraparound services that may be mental health, tutoring, anything we're needing to do to catch up, or for those kids who have had to be out. Also some help with transportation costs. Some districts like Mayfield, they lost all their buses. And we did make the offer here. We had an extra bus to Mayfield, but other districts had jumped in and helped them already. But there's some added cost to other districts. We're fortunate we really don't have as much of with transportation and also with the facilities repairs. And we have there's certainly some damage at Bremen. It's not major, but we are trying to track all that. And so there may be some money to help with that. And it's deeper than that. Those are just a few of the things. But if you're looking up some, look up SB 25, kind of read on that. Two budget bills. HB 285 is the governor's, and HB 1 is out of the House. I will say both of those are education friendly. And, I'm kind of pleased to see some of the things like full day kindergarten being taken care of, more contribution to transportation in general, which has been a problem forever. So those are very positives. Both of them are very positive, I think. They don't come into agreement on everything, so we'll see where that goes. It kind of feels like House Bill 1 may rule the day, but we're watching that. KDE, and this is from the meeting today, they're asking for some language. We've been meeting with them and the commissioner probably 3 or 4 times. And what we're worried about, and Kim, you asked me about this the other day, we're worried about are these other districts that a lot of our kids who lost their homes, they're displaced, they may not come back to the district. And even the ones who want to rebuild, and I think we have 85 or so dwellings that either were totally destroyed or major, which means you can't live in them. So even if they want to rebuild, how long is that going to take? That may be 2 years. So what we've asked them to put in, and KDE has written up some language, and they're asking that this be put in, is to keep our ADA numbers that our seat dollars are figured on, go and keep that at 1819 numbers. Remember, we've been on 1819 numbers now for a couple of years because of COVID and just really difficult to get accurate numbers and all that's going on. We've asked for a 5-year hold on that, where we're basically held harmless for the tornado. Well, the budget is for a 2-year biennium, so that's all they can really do this round, but we're hoping they'll put in some language that has the intent to go 5 years and buy some time, our folks some time, so the districts, and some are worse than Muhlenberg, they have time to try to recover from this. Basically, like I said, being held harmless. So that's where we are with, that's a couple of things I'd like for you to watch in legislation, and I'll keep you posted on that. But there's a few other things in that as well, but those are the highlights. But we'll tell you, yesterday our strategic planning moves forward. We had to cancel a lot of meetings for yesterday and today, based on what we thought was going to be a lot more snow than we got. But we're moved them to early February. We're meeting again with parent groups, community group, classified, certified. We had to cancel pretty much everything, except we did get to meet with students yesterday. About 10 students at the high school through lunch at Felix Martin Hall. Such an impressive group. Ms. Bumps, you did a fantastic job choosing some a diverse group of kids that they had a lot of input, some good, some things they think we need to work on a little bit. But it was a great conversation, just very impressive young men and women. So I did want to let you know that, and that continues to move forward. We're just a little behind because of some of the weather and some of the things that's going on. And that's basically what I have before I get to the principals. Even though there's a lot of negative things going on, a lot of stress, all that, there's still a lot of good things happening too. And I do want the principals to take a couple of minutes apiece to kind of highlight some of those things. And then if there's any questions, we'll circle back and I'll try to answer anything you may have. So I'm going to jump in with the principals and we'll start with Mr. Sharp.
Good evening, board members. First of all, I'd like to just say thank you to all the staff throughout Mielenberg County who helped volunteer thousands of hours to help our students and families who were affected by the December 10th tornado. And I'd like to say thank you to each one of the board members. And thank you for all that you do for our school. Also, thank you for doing your best to really shape our superintendent and make him a better superintendent. You've done a great job with that. Our students had their Christmas parties on January 4th, and it was a great time for our students to be back. They're glad to be back in school, and it was just a good day. Shout out to Julie Penley and Carrie Duncan for bringing therapy dogs to the school. They helped with the transition back, and the kids loved seeing the dogs in the school, so it was a really fun event. Our students wrapped up the MAP testing for the winter session, and we saw several students show great growth. I talked to Mr. Davis. It was just clearly evident that when the students are in person, they're really growing. In third grade, we had all but like 2 students that showed growth in both MAP and reading. So it was good to see. For our second 9 weeks, we had 36 students who were on the all A honor roll and then 46 students who were on the AB honor roll. And that's for 4th and 5th grade numbers. Those 2 grades in elementary are the ones that are on the standard grading scale. Shout out to our school nurse, Ashley Eubanks. She's been such a rock for our school. She does a great job taking care of our students and our staff. And I'm just very proud of my staff, particularly on how they have been. They're always ready to pivot, adapt, whether it's weather, whether it's COVID, lots of quarantines. They just show great strength in the midst of major challenges. And I am very proud of each one of those. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Sharp. And Mr. Harrison may allude to this, but something you probably will find interesting. I think I texted you guys about it. But the first day back after the tornado, that was right after New Year's, the highest attendance in the county was at Bremen. And there was some displaced kids there that had to get back. And honestly, we transported a few, but not many. They just got them there. So that's pretty encouraging. That tells you, I just think it says a lot of positive things about a lot of people. But that was interesting. And pretty much the entire week was that way. Okay, let's move to Mr. Blake.
Well, thank you, Mr. Davis. Board members, I want to echo our appreciation to you for the service that you guys provide to our district and the leadership that you provide. I do not envy the position that you're in when it comes to some of these decisions and votes that have to be made. So I do want to appreciate you for that. So I'm going to focus a little bit on our Christmas and our Family Resource Center. Our Family Resource Coordinator, Vicki Taylor, has done an outstanding job of reaching out to our families and making sure that they were able to have the Christmas that they deserve. We had 157 students that participated in they weren't all students, they were children. They could have been preschool age or even middle school, but 157 students were able to have a better Christmas thanks to Ms. Taylor and the resources that she has. And I also want to thank the Central City Police Department. Shop with a Cop was a huge success. We had 76 students, and those are 76 Central City Elementary School students that participated in that. And it was just so much fun to watch them shop. I have some great stories of some things that they decided to purchase. It's fun watching them, but my heart really was blessed because so many of these students, as they were going around shopping, were wanting to pick out things to buy as gifts for their siblings. And so that was a really touching thing to see. I want to shout out Ms. Renfro, our assistant principal. She has started a support group called New to the Crew for all people who are new to the Central City Elementary School staff. I am the only person that is officially uninvited from that group. Everybody else is welcome to go, but it's specifically for those people that are new so that they can learn the ins and outs of working in education, working in this school district, working at our school. We have some guest speakers who have already been lined up, Miss Julie Penley, Miss Donna Bumps, Mr. Bletzinger. So a lot of people are going to come and make this a great program. So I'm really proud of her and the teachers and support staff that have been a part of that. And while we are not necessarily Bremen, I do want to shout out our teachers and staff as well for the support that they provided during that. I was in communication with them throughout the tornado relief, and just to see the heart that they had to go out and to support the community and volunteering at both the old South Middles, volunteering at Bremen Elementary, and just going to people's homes and getting their hands dirty picking up debris. It was really touching to see. So very proud of Mr. Sharp and the leadership he had, Mr. Davis and our central office team there as well. So great job, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blake. Let's go to Ms. Jones, Greenville.
All right. On behalf of Greenville Elementary, I do want to say thank you to our school board members. We appreciate everything you all do for our schools and all the hours that you put in as well. I also wanted to focus on our Make a Better Christmas. We did had a blessed day delivering those to families. We had 119 students that participated in that. It was 44 families, but I just have to spotlight the generosity of our community. It was, I know we've all seen that over these last couple of months, but with the Make a Better Christmas program, not only the people that adopted the angels, but also the other community partners that stepped in. We had a jewelry representative that donated necklaces for all the girls with their names customized. They called and asked us if they could do that. We had a lady, Rah-Rahs, that donated t-shirts. She donated 100 t-shirts for all, just a variety of sizes for students. Donna and Paul Rager's contribution allowed 44 families to receive food baskets, and every child, in addition to their Christmas, got a stocking. So it was just a tremendous day. We really appreciated the Muhlenberg County High School Beta members that came and helped us as we loaded those items in the parents' vehicles for them. And we are also partnering with Reagan Stovall. She is from the Muhlenberg County 4-H program. She is starting a birthday club program for all of the students that are a part of the backpack program. So every month she brings those students birthday boxes that include a variety of items and a cupcake. So really appreciate her doing that for our kids. Shout out to our academic team. At this point, Coach April Calso, I just confirmed, I wanted to make sure before I said this, they are undefeated, and she corrected me and said they are undefeated for 2 years in a row. So we are excited about their season. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stacy. All right, Mr. Wells.
Good evening, board members. I'm trying to present something, so give me just a second. I'm not sure this is going to work. Every morning at South Elementary, we have the school news. And we showcase student achievements and what's going on for the day. And I'm not seeing it work, so give me just a second. It's being painfully slow. Hopefully you can see it now. So every morning we start off at our school with the Muhlenberg South Sun News. I want to thank our computer teacher, Miss Gates, for helping me get the PowerPoint together. Tonight I want to showcase one of our students. This will be broadcast on the news Monday or Tuesday whenever we get back to school. But a big MSCS shout out to our one and only Clacy Jones. She's a 5th grader in Miss Grove's class. She is the daughter of Stephanie Jones and the late Clay Jones of Beechmont. I'm not sure who the ugly guy is there in the cape. Hopefully you see on your screen a picture of Clacy, and I'm going to read a message that I received from Clacy's mom along with some pictures. Her mom's name is Stephanie, and it says, "You might not be interested in putting this on the news, but we are very proud of what Clacy accomplished and how many children and families she helped with her toy drive. The Monday after the tornado hit, Clacy announced that she was going to be promoting a toy drive for the children of the Bremen tornado tragedy. Her small collection of toys turned into an abundance." And her message was helping kids helping kids. And the first pictures that we're seeing show what she collected, and then how she spent one evening at North Middle School unloading and distributing toys, bikes, games, etc. to each family. If you know Clacy, which I do well, she's very thorough. She literally took each family's information and distributed toys according to age, gender, and the kids' wishes. Then things got bigger. The next set of pictures that you're going to see was with the truck was completely overwhelming for Clacy. She was contacted by the mayor of Stowe, Ohio. They had heard about her toy drive on a radio station out of Louisville, and the town of Stowe is right outside of Akron. They contacted her and they wanted to bring toys to donate to her toy drive, which they did. So of course she said she would be glad and honored to take the toys. They called her on Tuesday, December the 21st, and said they would be sending a truck driver. It's an 8-hour trip to Beechmont to drop off the toys. And here you see the driver. His name is Tim Ruggles. And they arrived on Wednesday morning in a 28-foot box truck packed full from top to bottom, front to back, with brand new toys, bikes for all ages. And many different people in the county were contacted and trying to determine the best place for the new toys to go. And we all have had that situation. We had an overwhelming amount of things coming into the county. And Stephanie said we were lucky enough to have Alan Miller and his wife, which is pictured with Clacy here, contacting us wanting to know if we could bring them directly to Bremen to be used in their Christmas distribution they were having for the families right before Christmas Eve. So Clacy and Stephanie led the driver to Bremen, and they unloaded everything into Magistrate Bullock's building. Needless to say, everyone was very proud of her compassion, dedication, her big heart. And Stephanie says she's one of your students right here at MSES, and I thought definitely newsworthy. And we're so proud of Clacy and all those who have helped Bremen and those in surrounding counties in Western Kentucky. So also on the news, we would show things like this. We've got pictures of Devera Keith, Payson Pentecost, Layla Mefford, and Mia Mefford, and they competed in the Indianapolis Intensity Cheer Team, and their team won first place. And so they've got a go ticket, which is a pay trip to the U.S. Finals. So we're excited about the girls there. And a special thanks to Miss Darlene and Miss Becky for making our day yesterday on National Popcorn Day Extra Special. They pop popcorn for every single student and staff member in the building. Also on the news, we would say stuff like this week in history. In 1964, the Beatles released their first album in the United States, Meet the Beatles. Those are for the Beatles fans. And let's celebrate today as National Cheese Lovers Day. And that concludes my report. Just want to give you a taste of how we start the day every day at Muhlenberg South Elementary.
Great job.
Thank you, Grayson. Ms. Bunks.
Greetings, board members. Unfortunately, I will not be as pun-filled as Grayson was, as he talked about just a taste of how he starts the day and included food in his PowerPoint. But we do have a lot of exciting things going on at Mielenberg County High School. I first want to start with congratulations to Hannah Rager. We're still unsure that she's related to Jerry Rager, but congratulations to her on getting, hi Hannah, I see you, winning state beta secretary, and she will proceed on to nationals to compete at that level. Speaking of Hannah, we also had some members of our DECA and Mr. Joe Har's daughter, as well as many others, competed at regionals recently at Murray, and I believe that was yesterday. We're still waiting results of that, but very proud of that group. And as Mr. Davis said, so glad that we were able to have many of our students to still continue to participate, even with the rise in the COVID levels. Just today, and again, like Grayson, it will not be as detailed, but I am going to try to share my screen here if you will bear with me. We received some news about our art students who had competed in the Scholastic Art competition. Of the students, we had many Mustangs who many, M-A-N-Y, Mustangs who placed in the gold, silver key, and honorable mention. And I will have to ask Miss Embry to forgive me just a little bit here. I'm going to steal a little bit of her thunder for next month. If I can ever find I thought I had it up and going here, so bear with me. One of the pictures that was selected to be, and it's Miss Layla Cunningham. I may have to just send it to you through email. My computer, like many others, being a little contrary tonight. But Layla has been selected as the American Visionary Award, which means she is one of 5 in that region to compete for an opportunity to go to New York City and then have her art displayed at Carnegie Hall. So very excited about Layla and wish her the best of luck and hope that she is selected. But it is a beautiful drawing and you will not be disappointed in that. I'm very proud of our athletics. Our basketball teams, both the Lady Mustangs and Mustangs, continue to have some strong district wins here lately, so proud of them. And also a shout out to our band members who recently performed at WKU and the all district band, so quite pleased with them. And I'll wrap up by saying shout out not only to you all, so obviously you have many tough decisions to make every day, and I appreciate you all, as well as my staff who, just like with everything else, continue to hang in there. It's my favorite saying, like a hair in a biscuit. They continue to make it every day and to try to do what's best for our students. But a special shout out to Shelly King and Tammy Benton in our Health Service Department, as well as Susie Rice and Ashley Sutherland in our Family Youth Service Center. They continue to do great things. And while I know Alex couldn't be here with us tonight, and he said he didn't really have anything, this does impact our high school and our district. I want to give a shout out to he and his staff that they had 5 more students, a total 5 students, to complete their graduation requirements. And that only helps our graduation requirement overall in our district, as well as the percentage. So shout out to them too. And that completes my board report, Mr. Davis.
All right, thank you. Mr. Lau.
Thank you, sir. Board members, we would, again, like everyone else has echoed, thank you so much for all that you do. Greatly appreciate the thought and consideration that you put into every decision, whether that's a big decision or small. They're all important throughout our district, and we do appreciate you. Also, we'd like to congratulate our academic team. They won first place overall at the District Governor's Cup this past Saturday. They placed second in quick recall, and every attending member placed in written assessment. And I'd like to take a minute just to share those names. In math, Miles Riggs placed second, and Jackson Amos placed 5th. In arts and humanities, Jonathan Mays placed 2nd. In language arts, Ashton Smith placed 4th, and Evan Whitmer placed 5th. In social studies, Garrett Lambert placed 1st, Landon Newman placed 2nd, and Trace Harper placed 5th. In science, first place went to Garrett Lambert, second place, Ashton Smith, and 5th place, Bryson Johnson. And in written comp was first place, Morgan Johnson. We'd like to again congratulate those academic team members. We wish them the best of luck as they advance to region. And like others have shared, I'm so impressed with our staff at South Middle and just the staff across the district in helping collect donations or help whoever was affected by the tornadoes, just working at Old South Middle, being able to see the supplies come in, and just the great acts of humanity, not just across Muhlenberg County, but across several states. It was quite impressive and enjoyed all of that. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lau, and Mr. Watkins will not be able to be with us this evening, but so we'll finish up these reports with Mr. Rager.
You sound so excited, Mr. Davis. Thank you, board members and Mr. Davis, for your leadership through these difficult times. I also want to praise and thank Mr. Sharp for his leadership and hard work that he put in helping and leading the Bremen community through the aftermath of the tornado. North Middle, as many of you know, served as the North Pole in accepting, organizing, and delivering Christmas gifts. I think 68 families that were impacted by the tornado. Words can't express the outpouring of generosity that we received, not only from the county, but from across the state and other states. We actually got a box truck full of bicycles from a firm called Jones Logistics in Atlanta, Georgia. They sent the bikes unassembled, and the inmates from Green River Correctional, they actually assembled the bikes, which was a huge undertaking. We had most of the staff helped accept, organize, and deliver. Mr. Devine and I helped deliver a lot of the bicycles and the gifts. Miss Heather Harris was what we called the head elf. She took a lot of time and effort and heading up this huge task. And the teachers and the staff, they worked diligently to make sure that we didn't miss any kids. That was our fear, was that we were going to miss some students and they wouldn't get the gifts they really needed. But to my knowledge, that didn't happen. I think we got everybody that really we needed to meet their needs. Moving on, I do want to kind of celebrate some of our kids got to participate in some events. Macklin Blake, she won first place in digital art at the Kentucky State Junior Beta Club Convention. I do know that Macklin probably did that because probably I wouldn't think he had any help from his dad. Also, North Middle academic team participated in the district academic team competition. Sorry, I'm buffering. And at Todd County, our quick recall team placed first, which consisted of Molly Miller, Briar Fauntleroy, Christian Jones, and Gabriel Thomas. Gabriel Thomas also placed first in math. Sorry, buffering again. That's a good internet out here. Briar Fauntleroy, third place math, third place science. Christian Jones, fourth place social studies. Molly Miller, second place language arts, first place arts and humanities. Amy Brown, fourth place arts and humanities. Lily Wiggins, third place composition. These students will advance to the regional academic team competition on February 5th at James Madison Middle School. We also had students participate all district band. They were really excited that they got the trip in. Lily Cheney, Owen Halcomb, Adam Pogue, Kyra Parker, Savannah Page. And again, I want to stress that, our staff as well, we're, it's pretty common here lately that, we have a shortage of subs and people just, where do I need to go? How do I need to help? They're more than willing to give up planning just to do what's best for kids. And Audrey Mercer has done an awesome job in the healthcare needs of our students and staff. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rager. I know that took a minute, board members, but I just felt like, we need to hear some of the positive things going on. So that does conclude the superintendent report.
Right, thank you. Our attendance and enrollment report, Mr. Hardison.
Thank you, Chairman Rager. Tonight's report, we really don't have a full month's report, so just want to talk briefly about first couple weeks back from a Christmas break. As Mr. Davis said, something jumped out at me was when I looked at that first day back on that Tuesday after the break. That Bremen attendance number was just off the chart with 97.49. And that just shows those kids were ready to get back and see their teachers and try to get back as much normal as they could. So that jumped off the page. And I also want you to notice on that page at the bottom there, Eric, I don't know if you can scroll down a little bit. The enrollment there that first week was sitting at 4241, and that's something to keep our eye on, the enrollment. As we got into the second week, we had a good full week back, and I noticed a couple schools there for the week had averages approaching 95%. So do like seeing those numbers getting closer to 95%. COVID is just a difficult time, and that is a challenge for us. So, but I did notice there too, and something I always keep my eye on is that enrollment. With COVID out there, I've had a few kids go to homeschool on us, and we try to make the case to them that we really want them to stick with us, and that we provide a great service, and the learning opportunities they're giving up for a time period is it's really we feel like we have a great product here in Muhlenberg County, and kids benefit from being in person, and you've heard examples of that tonight. So, but that is the case, and that we got our eye on that enrollment number. So you can see that Mr. Davis mentioned it. Tomorrow will be our day 5 of NTI. We have 10 of those. We can either use for weather or for COVID. And then recently the TRI, the temporary remote instruction, that was given to us with a little bit of relief, but not as much as we would hope. But we will try to use that the best we can to meet our needs. But hopefully we may need even more relief. I don't know if we'll get something like that, but it would be beneficial. But before I sign off, I just want to thank board members. It's great working with you. You guys are a great team, and you're very supportive. I'm also very impressed with our principals in our district. In this job, I'm able to get out in the schools and see the good work they're doing. They are handling this COVID time period amazingly well, and so just proud of their efforts. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move down now to our board action items. Item A is to consider our board meeting dates for 2022.
Thank you, Chairman Rager. We're going to propose that we continue the third Thursday as a rule, and at 5:30. There are a few dates to maybe make note of. The first one is next month. After talking with some of you guys, we're trying to work around a conference, February 21st. I believe that's a Monday. So we're going to ask that next month be February 21st. So that's kind of that's different than the others. A little bit, we're not worried, but the spring break, that's a couple of weeks after spring break, the 21st is, but that may change some timelines on getting stuff to you, but we'll work through that. The other one is in October, still the third Thursday, but that's 1 week after fall break, so there could be a few timeline issues there. We'll work through that. And then the December 15th, that's the third Thursday. Sherry Miller did remind me that often KSBA falls in that area, but they haven't put that out yet. So it's conceivable we would need to change the December 15th date. So they're all on the third Thursday with the exception, I believe, of next month, which we're proposing to be February 21st.
All right, is there any discussion on this? So do we need to make a motion to have our meeting February 21st and then approve it separately?
I believe we can make the February 21st the only exception to the third Thursdays.
Okay.
Make a motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Johar.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wells. All in favor of approving the third Thursday at 5:30 for all board meetings except for next month's meeting being on Monday, the 21st at the 5:30 time, please say aye.
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 All opposed? I hear none. All right, we'll move down to item B. To approve the BG1 for Mielenberg North Middle School security entrance.
Thank you, Chairman Rager. If people can't tell your dedication through right now, they just aren't paying attention. This is the BG1 for the Muhlenberg North Middle School entrance to address some security things that kind of similar to what we did at the high school and now South Middle. What it does, it creates another stopgap measure for people so they can't just enter the building. The way it currently stands, second door in, you're in. So this will help channel people through that, through the office, and allow them to control more of the entry into the building. We have school security funds. That was a grant. We had about 120,000. We've used 60,000 of it thus far. There's about $62,000 left. And then it says general funds at 85,781. However, I just had to list those for semantics because we have a grant from the Felix Martin Foundation. If you all remember, it's about 1.5 years old, but we didn't get to use it a couple of years ago. So that $85,000 can be covered through Felix Martin funds. So it's a total of $147,744. This includes contingencies and other fees that are associated with the project. Any questions?
All right. Any questions? When are they looking at, how long of a project would this be?
That I could not tell you right now. I'll get in touch with Scott Noel, who is kind of doing that for us. Really, the big thing is that those security funds, they expire in May. So I want to get all the materials ordered and pay for it out of those funds so I can get that $60,000 spent so we don't lose those funds.
All right.
I'm hoping really if we get on this, it's some block wall, but it's a lot of glass. So if we can order those things first and get kind of going on that project, I think we can really.
Are there any questions?
Yes, I do have a question. What type of glass will it be? Will it be safety glass? Glass that's thicker than normal for safety reasons?
I think what it is they've got a film that they put on the windows now that's actually a bulletproof film, or bullet resistant, I should say. It's not necessarily bulletproof, but it'll give ample time for Brock to react. And they also have a film that he found out that is one way. So, they put it on, and if he actually, his office is right there. So, if he came out, he could neutralize the threat, so to speak, from behind the glass, actually.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Any other discussion? If not, I need a motion to approve the BG1 for North Middle entrance.
I make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Bard, I'll second. All in favor of approving the BG1 for the North Middle School entrance, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? I hear none. We'll move now to item C, to accept the SFCC offer of assistance. Eric.
Thank you again, Chairman Rager, board members. This is the SFCC offer for building. This is not like the CATS offers that we normally receive. This is the one that we will use in conjunction with the others that we've escrowed to help pay for the cafeteria. So this will help pay for the bond payment for that project.
Any questions? If not, I need a motion to accept.
Make a motion.
A motion by Mr. Johar.
Second.
And Ms. Wells. All in favor of accepting the SFCC offer of assistance, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I hear none. All right, we'll move down now to item D, award bid for sound barrier at Greenwall Elementary.
Thank you, Chairman Rager. This is for the sound barrier. So I saw a typo in there, but this is for the sound barrier wall at Greenwall Elementary. We put in the cooling tower, had an issue wherein the noise was affecting one of the neighbors there. So we have a sound wall that is, we got bids, we solicited bids for. We actually had a sound study done. What you'll have noticed, and I apologize, I didn't put this in the explanation, but there were sound fighter systems that came in at $53,585. That was for materials only. So there are other products that should be considered, which was the fattest concrete products. That came in at $113,000. The other two were at $114,000 and $208,000. We believe that the concrete one will actually hold up longer as well.
Is this one, I mean, are they recommended by anybody locally or?
Actually what we had to do is the consultant that came out of Nashville to do this, he's worked with several groups before, and I asked him to help with getting these companies that he recommended 4 different companies for the materials on the sound walls, and he reached out to them and when we did the RFP, they all submitted because there's no one around here that does anything like this. So this fattest concrete is actually out of Maryland. So they're going to have to come in and do this.
Okay.
So there's no.
They were all far away, so I didn't know how we came to get these bids. What process we went through to get the bids. All right. Are there any questions?
Nope.
I have a motion by Mr. Johar
Second.
and a second by Ms. Wells. All in favor of awarding the bid for the sound barrier wall at Greenwall Elementary, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I hear none.
Thank you.
Then move down to item E, to consider COVID-related protocols.
Thanks, Chairman Rager. I always hope that I'm going to come the next month and say, hey, let's consider, going to optional masking. That's always the goal. Certainly doesn't seem like the best time to make that move. I will tell you, as you kind of see what's going on in other areas, there are still several districts that are optional masking now. There are also several that have moved back to mandated masking. And I do believe that helps us with our, quarantines and getting folks back. So my assumption would be that obviously, I'm just presenting to you guys that we just kind of stay put and hope that in February, that we're in a better spot. And, I'm somewhat optimistic that we can get to a better spot pretty quickly when it starts dropping. We're seeing that in some big cities and some other areas that have maybe peaked earlier. So I want to be hopeful, but, for the next month, I would, think that maybe we need to just keep it as is and review this again at the February board meeting.
Great. Any other discussion? If not, I make a motion to reevaluate our COVID protocols in February.
Second.
And by Mr. Johar. All in favor of considering approving the COVID-related protocols next month, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I hear none. I'm just about done. I can almost make it. Down to item F, which is an add-on. It was to consider the revised BG1 for the high school cafeteria expansion.
Thank you, Chairman Rager. We're going to revisit this one more time, and hopefully this will be the last time. I know I tried to move funds to use the ESSER funds, the federal dollars, as the source for funding. However, those would force us to use what's called Davis-Bacon wages, which is the prevailing wage. And when we spoke with the contractors, we originally thought it was not going to increase it as much as it did. When it was submitted through all the subcontractors and everyone else, they came back with an increase of $737,585. I don't think that's wise use of our funds. So for this reason, I'm asking that the district is recommending, that we move the funding source back to the general fund, and I'm going to use the ESSER funds for other purchases and probably in salary expense. So even with the increase in matching healthcare dollars for using it for salary, that is far less than the $737,000. I also want to kind of give you a quick update on how that project is going. We do hope to have footers in the next couple weeks, or 2 to 3 weeks, I believe. What they've done now is maintenance and Jimmy Fleming's department have relocated a 3-basin sink, and they are taking out the dishwasher. So this is kind of they're now using paper products when they can for the schools, or for the high school. So that's just another thing that we're getting moving. They're relocating utilities and those sorts of things right now, and trying to keep the process chugging along. So that's kind of a little update, but what I am asking is that we do move the use of ESSER funds back into salary instead of this project.
Any discussion? If not, I need a motion to consider.
I'll make a
I make a
motion.
motion.
Motion by Ms. Wells. And I'll second by Ms. Bard. All in favor of considering the revised BG1 for the high school cafeteria expansion, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Hear none. Move down now to our board consent agenda items. Approval of the board minutes, meeting minutes for the prior board meeting, leave of absence request, donations for $2,500, field trip request, and facilities use agreement. Is there any discussion regarding these? If not, I need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Wells. And I'll second. All in favor of approving our board consent agenda items, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. And we missed our man Daryl tonight, so hopefully he's back on the mend soon. I think I'm better than I sound, I promise. So before we adjourn, just want to wish everybody safety and healthiness, and hang in there. I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a
Make a
motion.
motion to
Motion by Ms. Wells,
second.
second by Ms. Bard. All in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none, and we are adjourned. Thank you all for